So I think we're live. So I'm not exactly sure. Are visible. There we go. I think they are anyway. So I think that the messages are visible. I'm not exactly sure. So if you're here, say hi. Let me know where you're from. Today is April 8th, 2023. It's the day before Easter Sunday, and I figured we'd go live and have a little chat while I get some planting done. And since I did a video a little bit ago um, on how I was prepping my tiers for my tower, I figured maybe I can stick you over here and show you the rest of what I'm doing. So let's see how that works. Um, I'm not sure how it's going to work, and apparently my notifications are on, and I tried to turn them off, so I don't know what happened. So anyways, let's see if I can find somewhere to put this silly old tripod. And this one, at least I know how to work, and it doesn't shut you off. So, should be able to get you... Alright. Sorry about all the wobbliness. Alright, so, I went ahead, and this is going to be wobbly because I don't have a camera guide. And not a lot of space to do things in. But we work with what we've got. And that brings me to what I did today to prep my towers, the tiers of my tower. So, here we go. Here they are on the stove right now because this is where we got them. And I showed how I washed them out. And then I put, you can see down there, there's some shredded paper for a base. That is to stop the soil from clogging the holes as it drains from tier to tier to tier. I reuse the potting soil that my ginseng clippings were in because I repotted them. They've been in the same soil for a year and just been fertilized. As a tree, I can give them more fertilizer. So this soil is good and fertilized. It still smelled amazing, felt incredible. So it's, to me, it's 100% Why waste soil. There was nothing wrong with it. I just needed to repot my ginseng clippings. So that's what we did. So I reused the soil to line the bottoms of these towers. And then I made some soil of my own. I've been watching all these different videos and everything, and they amend their soil and add things to it. So in here is some indoor-outdoor potting soil. I have perlite in here. I have some homemade bone meal, which is some, I think they were chicken bones that I had boiled, gave all the liquid to the dogs, and then I crushed up the bones and dried them, and that's bone meal. So, crushed up dusty bone. So I put some bone meal in this soil. I put some crushed up eggshells in here. Eggshells take like forever to break down. So, and then I also put some slow release fertilizer, which is 555 neutral fertilizer, just to keep the soil good and neutral, especially because I noticed there were a couple of wood chips in here and stuff like that. So I didn't see any rocks, but there were a couple of chunks of wood chip. If you can see that. Yeah, there you go. So they did have some wood chip in here. So I'm going to top off these tiers. I'm going to fill these tiers the rest of the way up. And just so you know, one of the reasons that I got this idea to do this live chat today is to clue you in on those rings. Now, most all of your grow towers, and even the one that I don't have, which is the green stalk, I'm hoping to get one of those sooner or later. But the ring on the top there, that is actually the recommended fill line. So it's recommended that you just fill the soil up to that level. And there's 2 on here. So I'm assuming the second one would probably be for if you were going to mulch on the top, which sooner or later we will do that to these as well after I get them situated and settled outside and everything. So what we're going to do is these 2 green ones. These 2 green ones are deeper than my white one. So, and as you see, one of these is filled a lot fuller than the other. The reason for that is because I'm going to grow my carrots in this one, and I don't know if it's going to be on the top or bottom, but I'll label them somehow. Probably put a sticker on the side because I have stickers. So we're going to put carrots in the lower filled one, and we're going to put bunching onions in this one. And that's, I'm growing the bunching onions because that gives off a fragrance that's supposed to detour something called a carrot worm or carrot fly or something. Something new. I don't know. I'm new to all these things. So, but I've been watching that, and they say something about carrot fly or carrot worm or something. And so you grow onions next to where you're growing the carrots, and that detours some of the pests. So we're going to try that. I got some shallow rooted carrots here that I just got at the dollar store. They're supposed to be a short, it's called half long. So they're a short carrot, not a long carrot. So we're going to put them in there. And then here are our bunching onions. And I just got all of these from the Dollar Tree. And they were literally 4 for $1. So we got some bunching onions. And then in the white tier, and that's why I've got 3 of them here. In the white tier, I'm going to grow some Grand Rapids leaf lettuce. And some Paris Island long leaf lettuce. And so we're going to do those in the white tower, and those are going to go out with the strawberries or what's planted in one of the other tiers. And they're outside in the rain right now. And then we do have in one of our other tiers, I've already showed in previous videos, the first green tier that I filled has dill. My brain just farted. Dill, parsley, and oh crap. I got the mint in here and the oregano in here. So I've got dill, parsley, and basil in that one. So we'll have dill, basil, parsley, then we'll have the carrots and the bunching onions all in the green tower. And then we'll have the strawberries and the lettuce in the white tower. So that's pretty much what we're going to have going on. And then I'll probably fill 1 tier of both towers. I do have some marigolds that we started in the mini tower here. So they're doing all right. I showed the other day, there's one little guy that's got some leaves that are poking up. So I'm watching for the rest of them to see how they go. But I'm going to grow helichrysum. And I got 2 packages of this. So I'll grow some in the green tower and probably some in the white tower as well. Grows, oh, holy cow. Their growth height is 2 to 3 foot. Alright, so we'll put them on the bottom so that they have plenty of room to grow. Or something, I don't know. We'll figure it out. And then I've got some Gypsophila. I don't know. These cute little flowers I seen. So I'll put some of those in one of the towers. And then these forget-me-nots are, if I recall, these are a small ground cover, like bunching flower. So, and I believe that's what the white ones here are as well. Yeah, these say 18 inches and these say 1 to 2 foot. What I'm looking at, if you're not aware already, is there's this cute little graph or grid on the back of all your seed packets. And that tells you days to germinate, depth to sow the seeds, seed spacing as to how far apart each seed should be, and then, or recommended, I should say, and then growing height as well as the type. So this one and this one are both annuals. Okay, so these two are annuals. I don't know if this is too. Oh, and so is this. So we're going to plant these up and let them go. They're supposed to be really good for all our pollinators. So if we have flowers growing in the same towers as our herbs and our vegetables, then, and around the herbs and vegetables and all the other pots that we have that we're going to get going, you know, then you have enough pollinators to come in and take care of things, and that also helps keep down on pests, and we'll keep going with all of that. So that's what's going on right now, and that's what I have, that's what I'm going to be doing this evening. So I figured I would just get on here and jabber with you and do that. I don't know if I'll be able to figure out the tripod so you can see what I'm doing, but we'll do that. It's dusk, so around here when dusk hits, we shut down the shades. It's our cute little homestead, and, well, it's our home for now. We're going to be on a homestead soon. So, and I just got the option to go live on YouTube, which is amazing. So if you're watching, please hit the like button, subscribe, make sure that you subscribe so you get all the notifications when I do videos or I go live or I post different things. I guess it says that I can make posts, so I have been, and I don't know if anybody's seeing them, but I hope so. Also, make sure that you go and check out my posts. I guess that's in the community. I'm still trying to learn all of this. I'm really new to the YouTube as far as all this stuff. I've always been doing everything on Facebook. So, I'm new. I'm not perfect, and I'm not going to claim to be perfect. So any of you guys who are watching me are already aware of that. If you're new, thank you for tuning in and watching. I named this channel The Earth Lady's Adventures Relentless Growth. I am the Earth Lady, and these are my adventures, and that's what I share is all of my adventures and experience as I grow things and learn how to do things. I'm in the process of stop smoking, and so far it's been doing well. I've tried multiple times and we're still working on it. I take 1 or 2 drags, it tastes like garbage, and then I put it out. So this is the day before Easter, and the reason I'm doing this video now is because this is when I have the time to do it. I don't have little kids living at home, so, and my grandchildren are nowhere near me. So instead, I'm planting things and sharing my experience with you guys. So we're going to get started and fill up these pots. We're going to do them one at a time because I want to put the seeds in as I fill them. And then I did not grab a Sharpie or stickers, so I'll have to go and get those in a minute. But we're going to just start getting this done. we'll do the bunching onions first because that's the tower that I grabbed. It's right here. So this is the tower, the tier that is filled a little bit more. By the way, once I put some of this potting soil in there, because I am starting from seed, I will be using, everything's handy in the kitchen, some seed starter mix that I usually just start all my seeds with this. Since we're putting them in this pot, and that's where their forever home will be until we harvest them. Sorry for the noise. Till we harvest them or we start clipping them, we put the seed starter mix on the top just so that way the seeds will start to grow, and then as their roots go down through the soil, they'll hit nutritious soil, and then they'll go ahead and hit the refurbished soil that's also nutritious, but it'll make sure that it has plenty of nutrients so we don't have to fertilize again. Oh, the other thing that I did put in this green pot, which I just said was the slow release fertilizer, and it's a 555, and that bag I already got tucked away. So I'll try and post a picture of it later in the community. That's where you can make posts, I guess. So go over and check out the community. I don't know if anybody's commenting or anything, so I'm just gonna keep rambling on and see how long it lets me go, and if it shuts off, then we'll just do another one, or I'll record and post it. So first is the bunching onions. So first thing I better do to keep on track is to grab the bunching onions. Alright, so we're going to put some of this soil, and I'm using a spoon because I have other soil already pre-mixed over at Bev's, and that's for another project we're going to be doing with her Thanksgiving cactus. She's been under the weather, so and we've had some pretty chilly and rainy weather recently, so we're just taking advantage of everything that we got going on and doing what we can while we can until we can get back into doing all the other things that we have planned, like repotting her Thanksgiving cactus. We're gonna plant some more crops, although we got to go and invest in some soil because my worm bin is not doing so good. I kind of slacked on that one this year. Had a lot of other things going on. For all of you who want the inside scoop on the whole house hunt thing, well, we'll get into that too. So I'm not exactly sure how to do a vlog or a blog or what they even are. Something like a video chat where you just chat and keep everybody up to date, I guess, or something. I'm not exactly sure. I think I'm going to try and figure out how to make one, and it'll be kind of sort of like a daily diary thing where I'll come on and tell you what I'm doing for the day or what I have done. Because I'm too lazy to write a book, and I have too many other things to do to try and figure out how to record and all this other fun stuff. So, alright, so let me see if I can take you off of here. Sorry. Alright, so I just topped off this soil here with the mix, and now we're going to turn you back around and grab the seed starting soil that I just put down here. You go out of my kitchen now. Buttercup, go on. Thank you. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a sprinkle of this on top, a very thin layer on top of this. Let's see, what does the envelope say? Envelope says sow 1/4 of an inch deep. So yeah, just a thin layer on top. Let's see if I can... I didn't really do this in a very easy way. Let's see if we can rearrange the tower, and maybe I can turn you around so you can see what I'm doing. All right, there we go. That's a little bit better. I could probably even scoot you up a hair. There you go. All right, so we're gonna top off this. Yeah, you can see the rings here, here and here. So I'm gonna top this off with seed starting soil, and I'm just basically gonna use my hands and scoop it out. Now this is a real fine soil, and it's has no nutrients in it, and this is just, I'm giving you the brief information. I'm not got all of the details as to what's in it and yob memorized right now. I just know how to use it and when to use it. So and I could go over all of that another day when I have more time and I got it wrote down, because I don't have any of that wrote down. I just got it in my head and I know how to give you directions. So as you can see, we're just putting all this soil in here. I'm just scooping in a couple of handfuls here and there, making sure that it's all broke up. You can see how dry and dusty it is. It's a mix of, most commonly your seed soil mixes, from my understanding, are a mix of coco coir or peat moss. Let's see what it says in here. This has, where are the ingredients to this? I'm not really seeing the ingredients, but it has organic, okay, it has coco coir in it. It has nutrition balance, which is your peat moss, and then moisture retention, which is also the peat moss, coco coir, and it does look like it's got a little bit of vermiculite in there with maybe a sprinkle of perlite. So that's that, and that's what I just did. I just topped it all off. I probably could put a little bit more in there on these few sides, where I got one side a little bit thicker than the other. So let's go ahead and even it all out. I try to keep the center here a little bit low, just so that the soil is not touching the bottom of the next tier of the grow tower. So that way I know for sure that those holes aren't going to get blocked by soil or anything else. It's got, you know, enough room to where it will just not touch, but still be able to get watered evenly. All right, so that's that part. And this is the onion seeds. What I'm going to do before I do that is I'm going to go get my spray bottle real quick and dampen this soil. Actually, no. I'll dampen the soil after I put the seeds in. So, let's see if I got a steak knife over here. Carefully open these. I try and get them at the top and just kind of cut them here so then I can tape them closed. If I don't use all of the seeds, at least I can tape them closed for future reference or usage. So, all right. And yes, I use anything that's convenient and available for tools. Now these are very small seeds. And these are bunching onions. Can you see those little bitty seeds in the crack of my hand? They're teeny tiny little seeds. So we're just gonna, I don't know, take a couple here. I'm just gonna take a pinch and spread them around. And just kind of scratch the soil around. I'm doing this towards the center or the outer edge of each one of these pockets. And the reason for that is because when I put the next tier on, some of this is going to be covered the way that it sits. So you sprinkle your seeds on the outer edges. And like I said, I'm just kind of covering them up with this soil. And we'll do the same thing over here. You just sprinkle them there, and scratchy, fluffy, I don't know what you want to call it. I just kind of scurried them around a bit. There's one left, so we'll just stick it in there and cover that too. Alright, so now that that's done, now what I'm going to do is I'll water this a hair, and then, and I don't have the bucket that I sit this in to water it because I left it outside, so we'll have to get one. Oh, those don't fit. Okay, we'll figure it out. But I'm just gonna water this down a hair so that I know for sure that it's all nice and damp and moist, and then we'll stick it outside and see how it goes. So what we're gonna do is move all of this fun stuff. And I'm actually going to spray it with a spray bottle to mist it, and just spray it down a couple different times and make sure it's nice and moist and wet. Because when it goes outside, then it will be watered, especially when I get the other tier on it and I set it up. Then I will put a watering plate, which I'll show you guys all of that in another video when it's dry and it's outside. These do actually start to get quite heavy when they're wet and full of crops and, you know, full of dirt. And since most all of this that I'm using right now is either damp or completely dry, it will get a good watering when I stick it outside. And that's probably going to be tomorrow. So when I do stick my tiers outside, then I'll go ahead and I'll do a video and I'll show you how I did all of that too. So this is what I'm growing in this pot. I'll let you sit and look at that for 2 seconds while I get the handy dandy water bottle. And this is just a generic water bottle. Now I already have some water in this watering can because I've been doing some other growing, so it's room temperature. So I'm just going to top this spray bottle off with this room temperature water. I prefer to work with room temperature water, so 1, I'm not freezing my seeds, and 2, I'm not cooking them. When they go outside, then they'll do their germination thing and everything, so I just want to make sure that I do the best I can while I can, and go from there. So we're going to move this, and then I will scoot you closer so you can see. Boop, boop, boop. See if we can, there you go. You can tell I've been in the middle of cleaning. Today is Saturday, so I got a head start on this. You can see how I'm just dampening it up here. I got a head start on my Manic Monday today. 1, because it's raining out, and 2, everybody's planning for Easter, and I don't have to do any of that. So instead, I'm getting some other things done that need to be done while we can get the chance. Alright, get this good and wet. Now we're just going to turn it just in case it starts to seep. It seeps into the sink there, and not all over the counter and the floor. Because if you're not familiar with trailers, which this is a mobile home trailer thingy-majiggy. We live in a trailer park, that's what I know. And so this is a trailer. But they have funny floors in them, and so they use a funny kind of flooring that apparently is allergic to water, I like to say, because when it gets wet, it expands kind of like some sort of a sponge or something. I think it's a press board kind of insulation stuff. I think they make these floors out of like pressed insulation or something. And yes, I'm getting this really wet. And I will actually show you why I'm doing this, even though I know it's like, oh my God, you're gonna drown them. No, honestly, I won't. And I don't have a skewer over here, a wooden skewer, so I'm just gonna use this knife. But I'm gonna show you that with the seed starting mix, once you go down so far, it's still dry. It's only the very top that's actually watered or wet or dampened. So we just get it nice and wet, and little by little it'll soak in. You can see how some of it's already soaking in. I like to let it just sit here and stand because it will soak in, and when it does, that's when everything will get nice and moist and start the germination process, because everything will be nice and moistened. So we're just letting all of this sit on the top, and it, like I said, it will drain slowly but surely. I mean, you can play games with it if you want. It's really not going to make that much of a difference, but with time, this water will soak into the soil and get all the way through. Then I'll go ahead and I'll water it again, just because I'm not using a hose or anything, and these are very shallow planted seeds. So yeah, you can see here it's starting to soak in. This one's already soaked in. These two are sitting here, so, and my counter's not exactly level, so we're just going to let it sit there for a bit, soak in some. I'll go back a couple more times and just give it a good spritz in here. I try and do it as far up, you know, or so that it's spritzed, but I'm not moving the topsoil, so I'm not uncovering any of the seeds. But basically, that's all you're going to do is, for me, I use a lot of different stuff. Like I said, the seed starting mix is got a lot of good stuff in it, and just helps protect the seeds and start them in growing. Please don't eat my dirt. Go away. Thank you. So we're doing that. We're going to use this, let the water soak through. Then tomorrow when I put them outside, I have it, like I said, I have the watering top, and we'll stack it all up. And what that does is the water trickles through each individual tier and spreads out and gets everything. And then you water that until you see the water dripping out of all your different pockets in your tiers. So this is a tier, this is a pocket, just so that you know my verbiage. All right, so that's the onions. Now we're going to move on to the, we'll move on to the carrots, I guess. So these are the bunching onions, and they take 12 to 14 days. I'm hoping you can see this. Garrett, there you go. That's not very good. Anyways, here, let's see if I can turn you around so you can look at me and not the underneath of my countertop. There we go. 12 to 14 days. Depth sown is 1/4 of an inch. Space is 1 inch apart. Well, they're bunching, so we're going to leave them bunched like that because we want them to do their job. They'll grow to be 1 inch. Oh, excuse me. This says 1 to 1.5 feet. And days to harvest is 60 to 110. Well, it is April, and I don't believe we're going to get our last frost, because our last frost date is actually April 12th. The 11th and 12th are going to be our coldest days. No, yes. The 11th and 12th of this month, which is Tuesday and Wednesday, this coming Tuesday and Wednesday, will be our coldest of this week, and then it'll be the 12th. So that's our last frost date. I'm not anticipating that we'll get another frost. If so, I'll just show you how I cover these and everything if that happens. So that's our first one, and excuse me, I guess I'll just leave that there, and we will scoot this stuff over. And now you guys know why I don't do a lot of videos on planting things, because I really don't have a lot of space. And I'm dropping my holder, so hold on a minute. I gotta put you down in order to not lose my holder. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is my white tier for my white tower, and I have this little water PVC flex, I don't know what it's called, but I have this holding the hole for that so that I don't have the soil fall through that, because this tower is a little bit different from the green tower. So yeah, I had to move that. So this is going to be our, and it's sitting on that. Okay, come on now, let's maneuver you nicely. Here, we'll put you back this way and put you over here. All right, so looks like you're already looking at me, so you can see that I'm going to tackle maneuvering and moving these lovely tiers, and now you'll see how these actually are supposed to stack on top of each other. So once we get that filled, then we put this one on top, and as you can see, there's a gap down here. I'm hoping you can see. Yeah, you can see the light in there. So there's a gap in between each one, and there's a hole, a small hole, and other holes in the center. I'm pretty sure I showed videos on that, and I showed you how to poke all the holes and everything. So you'll have to go check out those. I don't know how to post different links to different videos and stuff in the comments, or I'm not exactly sure all that stuff yet. I'm still learning, guys, so please be patient with me. So now we're going to put the carrots in this one. So we're just going to straighten this out so I know for sure that if it does drip, which it's not, fantastic. I didn't think it would. So that's a good thing. So now we're going to put some more soil in the top one here. Same soil out of this green thing. And I'm just going to top it off with this. Now these, this one is a lot shallower. I didn't fill this one as full with the reused soil, because carrots are a root crop, and so they need as much nutrients and everything as possible. They need lots of room. That's why I put the eggshells and the perlite in with this mix, and so they need a lot more. Kind of pat that in there. I know you guys probably can't see much of this. I'm sorry about that. This is what we're doing today, and since this is the only setup we have, this is what we're using, and this is pretty much what I use all the time besides the outside for now, and that's another reason why we're going to be moving. We're looking for a place. You see, this is really fluffy stuff too, so that's really good. It's going to give them plenty of space to grow and be big and tall and grow their big, thick roots so that we can harvest some really nice, healthy carrots. So, yeah. So we moved down here, long story short, we moved down here 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago now, and this is our starter home. It was a stepping stone. It got us down here and established. This was never intended to be our permanent home, and so we've gotten this far, and now we have pretty much outgrown our space, and so we've been working on establishing credit, and I don't know all of that stuff. Ben's more in tune to all of that. I grow things and play with animals. I keep my sanity by just being in the house, playing in the dirt, and taking care of my animals, which I love to death, and they love me. So we're just filling this up a little bit more so it's nice and full. I really think I should put a lot more soil in this one, just because that fill line, and then once it gets wet, it's going to sink a little. So there we go. I'm going to fill it all the way up to that top fill line, just because they are carrots, guys. So I want to make sure that they get as much. And then I'll just put a really fine layer of seed starting mix. Again, once the seed starting mix gets wet, it'll compact a little bit too. But we want to allow these carrots as much room as possible. So I'm really going to push it to the limits with this tier, just to make sure that we have enough space, because, you know, carrots are a root crop, which means that the entire root of the carrot, the basic main root, is your carrot. And so you want to make sure it has room. That's why you don't put carrots in a short, like I'm not putting my carrots in that shorter white tower, because that's just not enough space for a carrot to be able to grow and have adequate space. And now I'm filling in the center, as you see. And I'm just pushing it just barely under the fill line, so I still have enough space to... Sorry about that, guys. Got enough space for the water to seep through and not touch the next tier, but also enough soil for the carrots to grow appropriately. So, and I think I measured that perfect, because I still got quite a bit of soil. I still got a bunch of soil in here. So I believe that'll be just enough soil for the white tier. Beautiful. Way to go, Jess. All right, so now let's get our carrot seeds, which are right here. And where did I just put those onion seeds? Oh, I stuck them here. I got to be careful and make sure that I don't misplace those, and then they go all over the floor and I lose my seeds. Because what I am going to do with the onions is I'm going to do succession planting, which means as soon as I get these onions to start sprouting, let's here, let me show you this real quick now. All right, you can see there, all the water has, I slopped a little bit of soil there. All the water has soaked in, so I'm going to go ahead and douse it down with another squirt of water, because I want to make sure that these seeds and the soil is all the way wet all the way through, or at least most of the way through. So let's go ahead and give it a good wet watering. All right, we're just gonna do a little spinny here so you can see this. And as you see, my spray bottle is funny, and for some odd reason it's always had this funny leak at the bottom of the nozzle. So I just let it be, because it seems to do the job. There we go. There's some more water. And then this last tier here. Just give it a good watering again. So anyways, on this crazy Saturday, I'm doing the laundry, which on the weekends I try and get the bedding done. I already got the dog's bedding done, so now it's just our bedding, and then we'll move on to all kinds of other stuff. Tomorrow, for instance, I get to hopefully vacuum the floor if it's not raining. But if it is, then I gotta wait one more day, because when I vacuum, I take the garbage outside and I empty my vacuum cleaner outside so that the dust and the dirt and everything from the house that I'm vacuuming out of the carpet does not get re-released back into the house. And what I'm doing right now is just opening up the carrots. So this is a very sharp knife, and so that's why I'm just taking my time. There's no rush. Just find that little spot and weasel it in there little by little. And like I said, I know how sharp this knife is, so I'm really going gentle so that way we don't have any accidents and nobody gets cut or hurt or any of that. Alrighty. I don't know about you, but I don't necessarily sign up to stab myself or cut myself. Okay, now this says 1/2 inch. Okay, so carrots get buried a little bit deeper. So we have to put the seed starter mix down. So let's set these carrots right here where they don't get knocked over. I hope you guys can, here, let's show you quick. Move the water. All right, can you see how I filled it all the way up? See, there's the rim there. And again on that one, that's the edge. So for the carrots, I filled it all the way up to that recommended fill line. You can see that. Yeah. So I filled it all the way up to the recommended fill line. Now we're going to top it with some seed starter mix. And this time, because these are carrots, I'm going to go ahead and give this a quick watering to make sure this is nice and damp. I think this is also going to do good to create a moisture barrier underneath the seed starting soil. So that's probably going to help. I'm going to assume that it will help suck up some of the moisture, and that way it'll get moist and wet faster and easier until I can get them outside and water them properly. Using a spray bottle does get your hands tired though. But yeah, we're just gonna moisten up this soil. Try it this way. I'm not an expert. This is the first time I've used these grow towers. The other ones, the white one, I've had and used multiple times, but this one is new. Just picked it up this year. I did an actual video on that showing that I got these from the Dollar Tree for I think $1.25 each tier. So each one of these was $1.25. Alright, so that's a little bit damp, so now I'm just going to take this dry soil, and it says 1/2 inch. So we're going to fill this bad boy. I'm going to probably fill it half full, moisten it a little, and then fill it the other half of the way full, breaking up all of the chunks along the way, because you want this to be nice and loose, you know. That's why it's a seed starting mix, is because you really want it to be loose so that your seeds have room to really stretch their legs and start their roots and their stems and everything. So, so that's basically what we're doing. Right now, I'm not going to touch on days to harvest because we here in eastern Tennessee, we have a long growing season. So I know for a fact I have a minimum of 100 days, if not more, to grow pretty much anything I want to grow. We are in zone 7A, 7B. We're kind of like right on the border. And with the weather being so crazy the last couple of years, it's really hit or miss because we're so close to the zone line that you really, I mean, sometimes you can push it. Like the year before last, we pushed it and I didn't harvest my potatoes. I think they were Russell potatoes, but we didn't harvest those until, oh, what, like November, I think. It was really crazy because they kept growing. It wasn't getting cold. And that was the year before last. Last year we grew them and I think we also harvested them. We harvested them last year in like right after our first kind of cold frost day, which it was just a really cold snap, and all of the greens had started to go droopy, so we went ahead and harvested them, and we could have actually waited a little bit longer for that. So all right, so now I'm just gonna moisten this up so that we can, I'm not done with filling this because the seeds say they got to be a ½ inch. Ain't that what it said? Yeah, ½ inch. So we're going to moisten this. And I think we're going to, let's see how this does. Just spin this around a hair, try not to lose it, because now it's going to get wobbly because of the imbalance and the fact that it's more than one tier. So we'll pick that little guy up, and I might actually just stick the seeds right on top of this here soil, and then put some more of the seed starter mix on top of it, and then water it in too. We're just kind of trying things out, and this is, like I said, this is my first time doing this. It's a process, and my counter is not level, so that's going to cause a little bit of water drain off or runnage from one place to another, or one tier or side to the other. So just going to make sure that everything is watered in good. And yeah, I think what I'm going to do here is get this nice and wet, let it soak in a minute, and then what I'll do is I'll probably go ahead and put the seeds on here after this goes down just a hair, and top it off with some more seed starter mix, which will give it about 1/4 inch to an inch. And here again, this is like a tedious process right now to water these towers and these tiers and everything, and that's only because I don't have it outside. So I don't have it set up to just water and then have the drainage go and drain the way it's supposed to. So so if you're wondering why that is, that's why. It's because I don't have it outside. It's not set up where it's going to be. So yeah, we're just gonna water this in good. Make sure that I'm not peeking out any seeds, which I don't think I am. And then of course we will come back I will go ahead and come back in probably tomorrow when I put them outside. I will give them a good watering, and I believe that I will probably put some mulch on them for the pure fact that, one, the mulch isn't going to hurt anything, I don't believe, but two, because there's a lot of pests outside, and we've been tackling and dealing with the last couple of years, getting used to the land and the property and everything, and the weather and the soil, which is catastrophic clay soil. So we've been dealing with that, and so I'm thinking that if I keep everything covered with a mulch, that we won't have as many pests and problems. On top of that, when you mulch, then you don't have to worry about if for some reason I get a bug up my butt and I decide I just want to water every tier instead of water from the top, then I know for a fact that I'm not going to have any backsplash on my plants, because the water's not going to splash up off of the mulch. So that's basically what that is. So I don't know if anybody's on. I hope I'm not boring you to death. I can sit here and ramble forever because that's just what I'm good at. So let's water this top one more time. We're not getting any drippage from down below, so that's a good thing. That just means that I'm not drowning the soil or nothing like that. And that way I don't have a mess on my counter either. So we're going to let that go for a couple of minutes. And I think maybe I'll probably, I don't know, maybe I'll just turn this one off and do another live. I don't want to ramble your ears off. So this could be like part 1 and part 2. You can come back and watch me do the rest. I know it's the day before Easter, so probably not going to get a lot of people watching this firsthand, but I wanted to show you up close. Here you can see the water's standing on there, but it's also absorbing really quick. This here you can see, there's the water. It's nice and damp. And over here. So, and that means that it's getting nice and wet now. So let's take this little knife real quick, just for shits and giggles. And we're going to poke this down here. And, well, we can kind of sort of see that it's still really dry at the bottom, but it is starting to soak in. So we'll just let that be. We'll spray this side off here just so that we don't have a bunch of dirt and mess. We'll fill in that little hole. Cha-cha-cha. So that's basically all I'm doing right now, is I'm just going to moisten these up, make sure that I probably will have to put a lot more water in the spray bottle because it's practically gone already. But that's what we're doing. We're just going to get all of this nice and situated and moistened up. Make sure that all of the soil is soaked all the way through. Not necessarily soaked, that's the wrong word, but dampened through, so that way we know for sure that it's getting enough moisture to soften the outer edges of the shell. It can start to sprout out of the shell, grow its roots and its stem, and so forth. You know how plants grow. If not, we'll have to do a video on that, but that'll be another day too. So that's where we're at with all of that. And that's basically what I will be doing today, is just planting the carrots and the onions, and then I'm going to plant, I believe that there's enough soil in that green bucket that I'm going to go ahead and plant the 2 different kinds of lettuce. And that way our lettuce can start, so we'll have some for summer till it goes to bolt, and then we'll save the seeds and we'll grow some more. I can probably even succession sow the lettuce, I think. So I'll have to wait and see. I mean, basically I'm just experimenting every year, all the time with everything that I'm doing. So yeah, we'll probably succession sow the lettuce as well and see how that turns out. So that's about it. It looks like I've been rambling for an hour. So I guess this will be part 1. I'm going to sit here and rest a minute, probably take a bathroom break, and then I will come back and do part 2. So thank you for watching. If you felt like this was interesting or useful, hit the like button, subscribe. I'm trying to get as many subscribers so I can keep this live button. I just got this yesterday, and so I was really shocked. And if you don't hear it from anybody else, if you celebrate Easter, happy Easter. So I'll do a part 2 here in a few minutes, and we'll see how that goes. These lives, if it's a live, then I can interact, I think. But I'm not seeing any chats. Tap chat. Some messages such as parental spam may not be visible. Okay, there is somebody there that said hi. Oh, look, I can see. Well, hello. Thank you for watching anyways. I hope that this was entertaining for you. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm working on getting a whole bunch of other things done. Trying to figure out the blog thing or vlog or whatever that is. And we'll keep you posted on all the behind the scenes and everything else that's going on too. So thank you for watching. Have a good day. Remember, you are someone. You do matter. I love you, and I'll see you on the next video. Ciao now.